gets down, everybody can see him, resplendent in his painted cloth.
I will preserve.
And that I will preserve,
protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God.
And
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful
and true to the Republic of Ghana.
And true to the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
The Republic of Ghana.
And that I dedicate myself.
And that I dedicate myself.
To the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana.
To the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana.
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
And allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner.
Feel good. Feel good.
Or how it will play out. There's a sense of excitement.
Did our plane just stop?
Another cash out.
That adds a little magic to my everyday.
Woo! Feels like a party tonight.
iPhone papa ye wo homa
so open iPhones accessories papa dia menhwe baby
me mo akwa ba EBA phones and accessories
Sebani EBA yeton iPhones any ho accessories iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max accessories ye wo charger AirPods any iPhone ho akade nyina nianoma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone say ya ankrankre boja and na say abon adwuma your phone nyina for 40% beji iPhone bia ope na ni aka no wo de bosome miensa etua ne nkakra e kwan ya obefa so de achi ani dial *713*5571# Oba, sheno so say wo de wo Ghana card ene nia ye kire say wo ye adwuma hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo circle mo ene tiptoe line ye ni modern photos enchen ho a afein so say wo ba American mall ye ni odo rice ene di nhwani kuma senso ye wo edum Central Prisons runabout ejekum abonsan ni mo Freyen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no EBA phones no hassle cra.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit's. Happy smile.
A home is more than just walls and a roof. It's the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you're returning from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayumensa is where your journey truly begins. Nestled beneath the tranquil Ebri Mountains, this gated community offers the perfect blend of modern living and natural beauty. Our 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes are designed for family living with spacious interiors, elegant finishes, and all the comforts that make life better. From cozy living rooms for bonding to modern kitchens for culinary creativity and private gardens for peaceful reflection, every space is thoughtfully crafted. At Rehoboth Havens, your children play safely, your family grows joyfully, and your memories are built on a foundation of care and community. Starting from 675,000 Ghana cedis with flexible installment plans, your dream home is within reach because everyone deserves a place to truly call home. Rehoboth Havens, where futures are built and dreams come to life. Call us on 0553 751933 or 0206 823524 to secure your future today. Rehoboth Social Housing, your housing dream becomes reality.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum Mr. Femi Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Maybe this Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Tontom Preko.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Hey, pay right, borehole drilling.
Hey, a Japan reject for Abama and showing some dewa. Pay reject a daromanti, if you be a money shoe, ain't it so young crankre, a jumaku, in swan sorry, Namope and should did you may be a dear. Make out for pay reject the amount, and pay reject, Wama quadari our borehole drilling, water purification, any bibiada a fat in show, Natie, pay reject in Kwane borehole drilling company, what do so mawa, or sound super a brano, a babesha singing sonity, and Sayo, Wama sounds so the Shashu Kokra, a Guponoswa, ye de babe bo a mosika sem piano alcoye. Hey, won't pay when now per day. Would them call them now? Flying, I was 0240 217253 0240 217253. Pay right GH since so young quadia, and ye maungwa.
First thing I was saying in United States, NDC de Boapayo and or the far kuntuna sebeshe parliament and naju de suma obiada. No, and you're very important, eh? Because there was steps. Parliament and then you started you. Ghana Parliament fit in 1948, ho baby. From you come in Kumamo time na Parliament started here Ejumao. Fourth Republic you crampo you buy, you know. We need the 9th Parliament. And your first time near buying Edim Raba Parliament, no be a catch him saying you fee so back during budget statement. And I say or the better business statement so and I saw the better order paper so and I saw the better emotion paper so I don't know. And you know correct. And
no mama did say agent.
Ode meba me say omo boapa no me okay say Abra finance minister be kan budget no. Ye bo no kokko say eto na we ye fi ho no tokure ba beda budget no ye 6 billion. Abana okay. Ni ebisa ne say kwan be na obefa so etua sa tokuro no. Okay answer o de mai.
Say enya so but the lot of was steady economy ne hu say the city pant wonim enya mo betimi ayi.
Okay and say ye wo VAT refund withholding account 6% bi. On just 6% ni na obe reducing it to 4%. Na sa 2% na kan eno di bitua sa tokuro. Ma o producers nhwe na bo. Ye catch and say they are wo kan enya no kra because as kan enya savings. Eye sika da ho da na wo dey akoto different account mu keke unye sika foforo bia. Number 2 eno na temporary enye permanent. Untumi in fact temporary revenue and so permanent revenue tokura no. Omo literacy ya na e wo legon ya aso mo ye neutral. Nso no mo ye NDC adwuma. I na NDC wie ya o makwa akwaji post no. Ba ko catch and say yen ya bon yen fa asem free ho. Na we smart economic engineering.
For example, asem.
Me mo bo bi edi. I will say in the end no tokuro na bedem.
Neba hu ni say nti na na no permanent solution. Eno ye
one thing. Intitama na oyo ye fi wa ye kan. Wo person catch am say na onimu ana.
Say adwuma bi wo ho me say wunre mu a won hyeda.
Me say eye na da na intricate. Unya hu ye. Wo de boboba. no nimpefe say or the idea we ba behye ho but omu di ntro tre Ghana for nti fine o if you o say na fi de 8% no ko de buy na me tell so wakata unim say buy wan ka say 8% na na me BS wa tell so buy o say oh just one Ghana cedi but obi anto 8% me nko bebre afi ma me kan bi fa e-levy no ho e-levy a omu ebro ya bo so bo ye dua frɛ ya kromfo ne ade say ye atotobotom for e-levy na 1% o we 8% e-levy ye bari de ko round mo bia kire na dwen ma yete so we de be share parliament kunto na say e-levy na sika ye gye say enkofo a ya fa wo mo adwumam omo aketua kakraka ene enyuma mpuntudwuma ye nya sika nwie ye no ye pay 2 billion from e-levy e de akwakoye abana be kaya say e-levy no aban nye bibia ma wo akọ transfer usika this aban jo 1% na aban atoto botom MPP aban atoto botom aban ono baaye no o say oje 6 billion through this 8%. That is 3 times e-levy
per year. 5.7.
Yes.
We're approximating on.
Yes, because actually e-levy you can 1.9 my approximating 2 billion and also oje 6 billion na say ye 2 billion ye ya to bottom for wa woji 6 billion we dey I say no dey confrontation am
honorable
ebi o wa semu a wo kan ye enenne ye di bua wo for say wo say MPP agi 2 billion e die omo repeal e-levy very parliament madam for Ayarga majority leader o say Ghana for ye di 2 billion a shemu bottom yen ene e domo ene wa 6 billion fi Ghana for bottom yen kan say
ye de ka
e kana say mama ncha say enye nokre John Jinapo say we yen fe nkonkutu aka energy minister o say ye de kotofan o
so mampanyin so eba be kaka ho say
mampanyin kan ni de first ena energy minister no no gi sika no akwakoye ade no eba kire o say wo hwese na your system of government tia mampanyin o tesro minister for na ye adwuma no on be brief bi o ha speech na draft na also akwakokan nipa na o ya ade no say ye de kotofan o because e kan de we di kan catch and say energy sector will consolidate esla no we betu an by December 2026 nti e kan akosoro ana say mo anye calculation ni ye nti dia air cost no ye ko ye nim no Ghana for be brebe unza ankofo ye de o madwen aye ye ho adwuma pa o because afin sem bebre a o mo kan ye no ye ko ye nim no
in the presence of the people here assembled.
I, Kwame Nkrumah, do solemnly swear that I will well and truly exercise the functions of the high office of President of Ghana, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Ghana, that I will preserve and defend the Constitution, and that I will do right to all manner of people according to law, without fear of favor, affection, or ill will. So help me God.
My Lord Chief Justice, Commissioners, Nananum, Your Excellencies, Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Dr. Kofi Abrefa Busia, by the grace of God, Prime Minister of the Second Republic of Ghana, and request all manner of persons to recognize and acknowledge him as such. I now request the Chief of State to read the instrument appointing Dr. Busia.
I do hereby dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of Ghana. So help me God.
J.J. Rawlings is ready there, holding the sword.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance.
And allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
And waving to the crowd. Even before he gets down, everybody can see him. Resplendent in his kente cloth.
I will preserve.
And that I will preserve.
Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help them. So help me God.
And do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful.
And true to the Republic of Ghana.
And true to the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. The Republic of Ghana.
And that I dedicate myself.
And that I dedicate myself.
To the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana.
To the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
And allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
Oh, hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to join you on Good Evening Ghana. What a show we have today. So, I read something said judicial earthquake. Did you see that one? Judicial earthquake. So the Supreme Court today, I'm took it upside down and turned right, and also went through the process. And after that, something happened before that. Did you hear what I said? Should I say it again? I'm saying that this morning, Ghana Supreme Court said, and also because of that, it's political and all over it's added everything to the process was quite, and it also applies to because the Joy FM has a lot that piece of. Did you hear what I said? Oh, you didn't hear. Should I say it in Chi? I know pay the Supreme Court. I can't say but the mind to come usupana or no can say I can say bantama in it. Did you hear what I said? We have a show today, isn't it? Later on tonight. Reverend Tim Fojo will join us from some military assessment, and then a big conversation with Kojo Ponkruma, former Minister for Information, former Minister for Works and Housing, and Member of Parliament for Fuasia Yerebi. He's going to tell us about the amendment of the New Patriotic Party's constitution that occurred at the University of Ghana during the Congress of the NPP. Good news today, though, is that we have a report from the court, and our lawyer was in the court. He will tell us what happened there. Social media is awash. I understand they are doing party. You know, they are doing party. Anyway, have a look at the way we told the story in video.
Who the hell do you think you are? Foolishness. We pay you. Master,
I don't want any foolish idiot to text me later. Who the hell is Sam George? I say, who the hell is that fool? I'm ready for you any day. Foolish man. Ube who say a drop you baby. Me remember we drag at them. Me say ube wrong what's not from. Me, I'm telling you that. If somebody thinks I'm sitting here because of Mahama, then you are stupidly stupid. I'm telling you. You can call your Mahama and ask him. And if John Mahama thinks I'm sitting here because of him, he is taking stupidly. Oh, me shebia honte. Akonya bia to say toilet. Oh, you hine se bedi enim na musomra eso ase you se be cancel man puntumra abrabom. Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Ah? Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Wo na wo ma santemai say otufo. Wo na wo say santemai o tom. Oye bi omon kan kire wo. Asantemai say e wo otufo na otufo te wo. Na yesi sebio wo na nanom mo baaye no sa nkwase asem we komo so anka nda akonwa kase we enkeda ho moto so nsɛmfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na ye so nyoma so otufo you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. See 2 million asante biem 2 million ni menhia biem ni mumpaya wo wiase nyina ye showa masarai bebediza when the Corinthians onimdie wo nyina ontumi san ba yare Ankan Williams ono so ne ba no so aboda mo se den osoro na wate chain we ni kwate fia te se mire edidi nkwase asem on TikTok was Ankan William wa bompa ye wo wiase nyina de brofo abo ontumi san ba yare na mo mogibigi nyana mensa otabo akotena court a bank board so we wie sika tetram o de nam Ghana osoro na hye Igbo curtains Reverend Obofo se hwanwan ne nine say Egyptian pen o de nkwase afọ mu echi wagigi mu sika nyina koto phantom and o ka kire mu se osom no eya azan afa wa oba no fon chen mi and wa kese chen mi I said if Somalia ekuro bi ade fe no enkinkensu and ade ne baaye and otowa hwa na fo no some wagimi arimi yawe edidi chief imam office dechi and o ye corruption edwuma ho because odum say chief imam enyini chief imam on TV chief imam on tie radio and arimi yawe na bodwe se peg and enkwase politics no the chief imam office ne ye
Taylor in the country. Unfortunately, I'm not an immigration officer, and so I mean, how do you expect? I mean, I'm not an immigration officer. I mean, for those who act, take necessary steps. Find out from immigration, unless the person did not come through lawful borders. So some of these are things causing the national discourse.
George, who the hell do you think you are? Foolishness. We pay you. Master, I don't want any foolish idiot to text me later. Who the hell is Sam George? I say, who the hell is that fool? I'm ready for you any day. Foolish man. Ube who say, a drop you baby. Me remember we drag at them. Me say, ube wrong what's not from. Me, I'm telling you that. If somebody thinks I'm sitting here because of Mahama, then you are stupidly stupid. I'm telling you. You can call your Mahama and ask him. And if John Mahama thinks I'm sitting here because of him, he is taking stupidly. Oh, me shebia honte. Akonya bia te se toilet. O you hine se be di anim na musomra eso ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom. Edian hine na yedi ni saa no. Ah? Edian hine na yedi ni saa no. Wo na wo ma santemai say otufo. Wo na wo se santemai o tom. Obi o mon kan kire wo. Asantemai say e wo otufo na otufo te wo. Na yesi sebio wo na nanom o mo baaye no saa nkwase asem we kom so ankende akonwa kase we enkeda ho moto so nsamfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na yesoso nyoma so otufo you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. See, 2 million asante biem. 2 million ni menhia biem. Ni mumpaya wo wiase nyina ye showa masarai bebediza when the Corinthians onimdie wo nyina ontumi san bayare Ankan Williams ono so ne ba no so aboda mo se den osora no ati chain we ni kwate fia te se mire edidi nkwase asem o TikTok was Ankan William wa bompaya wo wiase nyina de brofo abo ontumi san bayare na mo mogibigi nyara mensa otabo akotena court a bank board so we wie sika tetram o de nam Ghana osora no hye Igbo curtains Reverend Obofo se hwanhwan ne nine say Egyptian pen o de nkwase afo mu de chi wagigi mu sika nyina koto phantom and o ka kire mu se osom no eya azan afa wa oba no fon chen mi and wa kese chen mi I said if Somalia ekuro bi ade fe no enkinkensu and ade ne baaye and otowa hwe na fo no some Jimmy arimi yawe edidi chief imam office de chi and oye corruption adwuma ho because odum say chief imam enyini chief imam on hwe TV chief imam on tie radio and arimi yawe na bodwe se peg and enkwase politics no the chief imam office ne ye
Taylor in the country. Unfortunately, I'm not an immigration officer, and so I mean, how do you expect? I mean, I'm not an immigration officer. I mean, for those who act, take necessary steps. Find out from immigration, unless the person did not come through lawful borders. So some of these are things causing the national discourse.
Somebody just texted me that I'll give you a gold medal for the video. I didn't do the video. The editors and the young people put it together. So I don't know what I have to say is beautifully or really it tells a story. But as I was saying, this afternoon, the Supreme Court by a 4-1 majority has also decided on case from Libya, Colonel Gaddafi, West Africa, ECOWAS. You still didn't hear what I said. Oh, but you should listen attentively, please, viewers. Please listen attentively, then you can hear what I said. Shall I say it again? Okay, they give me a close-up so you can see me clearer then. And President Mahama is behind me. Makes it very good, isn't it? Supreme Court today, it's provided, it's really developing into something of a cathedral. And if you look at the way it's the court's procedure and rules and Justice Cheba for put together, Justice Stockton was removed. Some people get to talk on also Edu Lodge and get to talk on oh, you still didn't hear what I said. Let's go to Ghana Niba one more time and we're on the touch screen. One more time.
Who the hell do you think you are? Foolishness. We pay you. Master, I don't want any foolish idiot to text me later. Who the hell is Sam George? I say, who the hell is that fool? I'm ready for you any day. Foolish man. Ube who say, a drop you, baby. Miss member will drag at them. Miss Ube wrong what's not from. Me, I'm telling you that. If somebody thinks I'm sitting here because of Mahama, then you are stupidly stupid. I'm telling you. You can call your Mahama and ask him. And if John Mahama thinks I'm sitting here because of him, he is thinking stupidly. Akonwa to say toilet. You hine se be di anim na musomra eso ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom. Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Ah? Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Wo e na wo ma santeman say otufo. Wo na wo se santeman o tom. E bi o mon kan kire wo. Asanteman say e ye wo otufo na otufo te wo. Na yesi sebio wo na nanom mo baaye no. Sa ankwase asem we komo so ankenda akonwa kase we enkeda ho. Most of some full solo. You broke on your enemy, now you're so your muscle or two for you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. Say 2 million Asante BM, 2 million dementia BM. Mumpaya wo we are singing you show what Masarai, Bebeliza, when the Corinthians or Nimbia woman on to Miss Bayare, Uncle Williams. Honestly, the banners were bought the most a day or so on teaching. Waiting quite to see to say Mire. Edidim kwasi asem TikTok was Danka William wa bompa ye wo wiase nyina de brofo abo ontumi san ba yare na mo mogimi nyana mensa otabo akwatena court a bank board so we wie sika tetram o de nam Ghana osoro na o hye Igbo curtains rebe obofo se hwanhwan ne nine say Egyptian pen o de kwasi afo mu de chi wagigi mu sika nyina koto phantom and o ka kire mu se osom no e ya azan afa wa oba na ofon chen mi o and wa kese chen mi I said if Somalia ekuro bi ade fe no enkinkensu and ade ne baaye and otowa hwa na fo no some Jimmy Arimi Yahweh edidi chief imam office dechi and all your corruption edwuma ho because on say chief imam enyini chief imam on TV chief imam on tier radio and Arimi Yahweh na bodwe se peg and enkwase politics no the chief imam office ne
Taylor in the country. Unfortunately, I'm not an immigration officer, and so I mean, how do you expect? I mean, I'm not an immigration officer. I mean, for those who act, take necessary steps. Find out from immigration, unless the person did not come through lawful borders. So some of these are things causing the national discourse.
Take the thing from concern Musa. Wetin concern Musa? Musa doesn't care about anything. Wetin concerned Musa? I saw Richard Sky put this up on his social media. As you know, we're watching social media all through after this humongous earthquakal Supreme Court decision. And Richard Sky wrote, they can do what they want to do. That is okay. You remember Ivor Green Street in the NDC Congress of 2015? Was it 15 or 14? I think it was 14. In Kumasi and Ashanti region, we were all there. And he gave this earthquake solidarity conference to the NDC in Kumasi. And he ended up with something. He said, yo, NDC, you can do what you want to do. We too, when the ballot comes, we shall do what we want to do. I don't know why he said that back in the day. I was monitoring the room and we all laughed at it. But when I saw this from Richard Sky, I said, what do you concern Musa? What's the problem? Two things disturbed me, and I'm going to talk about them. Yeah. The first one was the Minister of Defense. And I remember President Mahama, when he swore in the ministers, he told them something. Is that Dr. Manibuama? Yes. When President Mahama swore in the ministers, he told them something. He said, I think the video is there. He said, now that you are ministers, be careful of what you say and how you say it. Recently, the Almighty Johnson Asidun Ketia, addressing the comments of the Honorable Sam George, Minister for Communication, relating to the Hawakumsin issue, he said, and it's gone viral, that a minister cannot talk like that. A minister cannot talk like that. Bring back the defense minister. Minister for Defense of Ghana. Now, when you are minister, you are a member of the government and an important member of the government, according to Article 78 and 79 for deputy ministers. Now, you represent the states. You do not represent NDC as such. You can look after NDC people better, which is allowed, but your representation is for the state. So if at a press conference a question is asked that there are rumors that somebody who is reported to have scandalized the court has come to town and that he has been given some security protection and you are defense minister, what is it? Then you say, am I an immigration officer? Minister for Defense. The one who is supposed to defend the republic. The lead administrative head of the armed forces has a press conference and says, if somebody has come that the court doesn't want him to come, why not? Me, I'm not an immigration officer. And he's giggling, he's laughing, he's almost being sarcastic. I don't care, I'm not an... I believe that President Mahama must have known these things. That's why he told them at the inauguration that now that you are ministers, be careful of what you say. I don't know, somebody was telling me when we were discussing it today that when President Mahama said that, he was 100% sure that they will fall foul of it. That's why he said it smiling. He knew that this, my people, they will do it. He said, because now you're a minister. And I said, Uketia was clear. It's not that what Sam George said was wrong, because naturally, emotionally, you can understand Sam George's excitement about people who meted out some dastardly act on him getting to receive the same thing. Emotionally, everybody can understand it. But the elevation of the office of the minister means that your emotions must be controlled in the interest of the state and in the interest of the public. Dr. Manibuama may have an emotional connection to the case that Kevin Taylor was found, for which Kevin Taylor was being asked for contempt. It was a case about NCA. He was the minister for NCA. His best friend was on trial in the matter. Eventually, his best friend got off on appeal. That one too is a story. But because we are ethical and we are professional, we don't talk those stories. We don't say it. It's not important. It's beautiful that we don't want any young man in trouble. So it's whether it's NDC or NPP is not the matter. Let's have young people work. So he may also have an interest in a journalist talking about the court in a negative way, the court that convicted NCA people and was about almost convicted somebody that he knows very well. And we know how that's happened. We know. The appeal succeeded. That's how it happened. But we know. Okay, but it's unethical to talk about it. Now, because of that, it was incumbent on him as minister not to indicate any relationship, any connection with anything, And to answer a question about somebody has come, that if you don't know that he has come, you don't know. But you support the view that if he has come, the law should take its course. And those who know where he is, they may well proceed and use the stage to, not to tell the journalist in a, what looks like sarcasm, with smile, that I'm not an immigration officer. Minister for Defense. The Minister for Defense is, by the way, one of the high-profile ministers. If you look at the pegging order, President, Vice President, Chief of Staff, I think Finance is number 1. I think Defense is 2 or 3. Maybe Defense Attorney General. They are very high-profile ministers. And I was worried. When I watched the video, I said, whoa. People were sending it to me that, your man, did you? I said, yeah, I saw it. Anyway, we have 2 interviews, so let's get into the details of the matter. We have thank you, Honorable Minister for Defense, thank you. We have a small matter to discuss. It will take just 5 minutes because Intim Fojo is here and the beautiful Upon Kroma is here. We just want to say this from the constitutional arrangement and from democracy, that this is the Chamber of Parliament and this is the Office of the Executive. There's a reason why under most democracies, including Ghana's democracy, people are called upon to elect by voting the people who end up in Parliament, in the legislature. People are called upon to elect by voting the man or woman who will end up as the top executive, the president. They are called upon to elect. There's a reason why we are not called upon to elect the judiciary under our democracy. In some places it happens, but in most places it doesn't. We are not called upon to elect the judiciary because the longest lasting democracies have observed that there always need to be one state institution, an arm of government, that is the bulwark of democracy. So under the Constitution, when this one expires on 6th January, and this one also expires on 6th January, it is this one that does not expire. So on the morning of the swearing in, the morning after Parliament has been dissolved, before the new Parliament comes in, the Lord Chief Justice, acting as the 4th most important person in the pegging order, maintains the position of the leader of the state. And then the Chief Justice goes to the Independence Square. Now, the reason is that there has to be some even playing field for all Ghanaians here. Everyone understands, since Marbury and Madison, that the Supreme Court, when it's making a decision, can make a decision based on political philosophy. If you go to America, it's not a secret. They'll tell you that the Republicans have the court or the Democrats have the court. Not because the Democrats elected people to the courts, but because the Supreme Court judges, of 9 of them, are divided into, people know how they think. In America, because of data, by the time you become a Supreme Court, they know that you are right, left, center. Everyone knows that. So if the court is more right-wing thinkers, then on matters that go to Supreme Court on policy, on constitutionalism, they are more likely to go left or right. On every matter of policy and constitutionalism, there's always a left and right. You take free SHS to a court, that you want to say that free SHS is illegal. You will notice that the right-wing people might support you because they don't like government participating in all of those things. You will notice that the left-wing people will not support you. They will agree that it's not illegal, government must pay for it. On a matter like that, on a policy like that, everyone knows that there will be left and there will be right. 31st December to be celebrated as a holiday. There will be left and there will be right. Election petition has come. The fact shows a certain way. Those judges who are in there for the stability of the state will tell themselves that the president has already been sworn in. He has formed his government. He's 9 months into the government. Why are you going to give a ruling that we should go back and vote again? No. I'm going to be progressive. I go on. Then there's another judge who is a stickler for truth. That's their philosophy. That even if he's in power for 2 years, if the election was wrong, it's wrong. Analysts can look at the Supreme Court of 11, 10, 9 and say that this case is going this way. That's allowed. That's really allowed. But if you come below that and you come to procedure and processes, it is not permissible that processes can change because the politics of the executive or the politics of the legislature is dictating what happens here in high courts, in court of appeal. So if somebody has defamed me, or I have defamed somebody, I've sat here and said that Omanebo Ama is this, that. Omanebo Ama sues me. And then he sues me in defamation. Come and prove what you said. And it should be thought that within the context of politics, the High Court judge would determine that MPP is in power, so he'll rule for me, or that NDC is in power, so he'll rule for Omanebo Ama. That should never be the case. And that has happened in Ghana recently, and I'm going to show you how it happened. The other point I'll make before I show you what had happened is that the framers of the Constitution are also aware, and I'm coming to the constitutional article, or perhaps, no, let me do the Ken Crunchy one first. Now, this is Ken Crunchy. During the election petition of 2013, he made statements that were suggested that he had scandalized the court. Ken Crunchy MDC was in power during the election so this is 2014 matter. Or 2013, during the petition, yes, NDC were in power. So Ken Crunchy was said to have made statements that are scandalous of the courts. So they hauled him before the court. His lawyer was the Leonard Atachia. The court made the decision that Ken Crunchy has scandalized the court, and therefore he should serve a contempt of 1 month. He was NPP. He's still NPP. NDC was in power. He was NPP. During the pendency of the trial, Akogun, Mugabe Mase, and the other guy, they also made statements that were scandalous of the court. What happened? Guess what? They were also hauled before the court and they were convicted for contempt. Keep the 3 there. I'll come to Enieboa. Because in the context of procedure and the context of the courts, there should be no favoritism as to how the court relates to this and relates to that. NDC was in power. And the 3 of them were convicted by the Supreme Court. John Mahama was president. And then they went into prison. But here's the catch again. Because the executive president, elected by a popular majority, is an important factor in the constitutional arrangement, every constitution gives the president the power to pardon people. Do you know why it does that? Because the constitutional framers fathom that the president's brother, the president's mother, the president's friends, his classmates, the relative of his cabinet, they may fall foul of the law. And if they do, a democratic arrangement does not permit the president to save them so long as they've fallen foul of the law. So if the president's brother drives a car into 30 girls and kills them, the Constitution knows that the president, even though he's president, will not be able to do anything about it because his brother will be treated by the law as it ought to be under a democracy. However, the constitutional framers don't want the presidents to be in a bad frame of mind. And whether, because you are human, whether you like it or not, if the president's brother is jailed, he will be in a bad state of mind. If the president's in a bad state of mind, it's probably bad for the whole of Ghana. If the president is not married and he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend goes to slap somebody at a supermarket, that girlfriend of the president will be hauled before the law. And the constitutional framers are aware that this will disturb the president. However, we do not want the president to be able to interfere with it because equality before the law is a bulwark of constitutional democracy. Therefore, in almost every constitution, the president is allowed to take some people out of jail when they have been jailed. In Ghana, you will find it in Article 72. It is entitled The Prerogative of Mercy. And Google the word prerogative. What he wants to do, you do it. It's almost like a discretion. And the Constitution gives the president that power. It says the president may, acting in consultation with the Council of State, grant to a person convicted of an offense a pardon, either free or subject to lawful conditions. He can give a person a free pardon. A B, grant to a person a respite, either indefinite or for a specified period, from the execution of punishment imposed on him as an offense, or substitute a less severe form of punishment imposed on the person, or remit the whole or part of the punishment imposed on a person of a penalty or forfeiture otherwise. This is what the 1992 Constitution grants the president. So that in effect, they are telling the president that you really cannot interfere when people who are close to you have done something wrong. What you can do is that after they've convicted, we have given you Article 72. Because we also don't want the president to be sitting there and thinking, yeah, my boy is in jail. What do I do? Then he said, have you been to him? How is he doing? Oh my goodness, what is it? The same surprise as cabinet. So forget about the cabinet meeting. Charlie, they've jailed my guy. What is this? Because we don't want the president to do that. And we also don't want the president to interfere in the delivery of justice. We have given him Article 72. Now, it's interesting. It's almost like a film. This Article 72 was implemented in the case of the Muntie 3. Put them back. Now, Muntie 3 were jailed. But they are the president's people. They are NDC people. They are Julius Debra's people. The party people know them. The party people love them. So the president was under pressure. And you remember, President prison. I interviewed President Mahama then, and he explained the reason why he did that. It made a lot of sense. Because the Constitution grants him the power to do that, so that he does not jeopardize the judicial arrangement, which is a foundation of the Republican Constitution. So, Ken Kranchi, where's Ken Kranchi? Ken Kranchi was jailed. President Mahama didn't give him any. No, this one, Mane, please. This is not Ken Kranchi. I beg you, take it off. Ken Kranchi was jailed. President Mahama didn't give Ken Kranchi any pardon. MPP man, you are jailed, go and be jailed. Okay, it's fine. Go inside. So Ken Kranchi went inside. As soon as Muntie 3 were jailed, the NDC people started knocking on President Mahama's door. Article 72 is there. Take our people out. And he did. You may not like it, but it was in conforming with the Republican Constitution. Then there's another matter. When, I hope you have Sir John, please, if you have Sir John, let's talk about the Sir John matter. In the same matter, in the same case, there was also Sir John, who was, and now these convictions, what happens is that when they issue a warrant, the warrant means that come to court. Apreku will be telling us that in a minute. The warrant means come to court and come and explain. In the case of Sir John, his lawyer was Ni Ayikwe Otu. Sir John went before the same court that jailed this one and Ken Kranchi. And Ni Ayikwe Otu went and said, my lord, my client is sorry. He is begging. He is a general secretary of the party. And he was speaking as a party man. My lords, please temper justice with mercy. We beg. We really beg. Justices looked at themselves, discussed it and said, okay, Sir John, go and sin no more. So that's always a possible outcome in a contempt arrest warrant. You can go to the court and then be asked to leave. It's always an outcome. It's always a possible outcome. But the other way of doing it that I couldn't say that the Supreme Court has today, that one is a problem. But anyway, let's see the judges who did the contempt for these people, and then we are wrapping up there because we have big interviews coming up. Justice Eni Yeboah was on that panel that decided that Ken Kranchi and also the Muntie 3 should go to jail. The acting Chief Justice of today, Lord Justice Bafo Boni, Justice of the Supreme Court, was on the panel. When people scandalized the court, he was on the panel in that one, and he agreed that they must serve a jail term because they don't have enough reason to have scandalized the court. What does scandalize the court mean? Insult a judge, say a judge has done this, all of that. Okay. Who else was on? Justice Doche, Jones Doche. Don't we miss Justice Doche? Everyone misses Justice Doche. He's just a sweet man. Justice Jones Doche was also on the panel in that one. And then you had Justice Gabriel Poamang, who is currently the chairman of the committee listening to the Justice Tokonu petition. Justice Gabriel Poamang was on the panel then. It was a unanimous decision, by the way. And then you had Justice Yawa Pao, who was also on the panel. And it was a unanimous decision. Is that all? So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5-0 decision of the Supreme Court that Ken Kranchi of the NPP and Muntie 3 of the NDC, both of them have scandalized the court. NDC was the president. Both of them went to jail. NDC used Article 72 to remove their people so that they didn't serve the full sentence. This afternoon, this morning, the quorum was led by Justice Amadou Tanko, who presided, Justice Ernest Jehu, who dissented. He felt that the warrants should not have been vacated in the manner that it was done. We are eagerly waiting for the reasons, and then we will treat Justice Jehu's dissenting opinion in some great detail. And then there was Justice Philip Bright Mensah, who decided that the warrants should be vacated. It doesn't matter because the reasons they gave. We're waiting also for their reasons. And then there was Justice Simon Subari, who also was part of the 4. I think it's finished. And this is Justice Senyor Jamefe, who was also part of it. This is what happened today, and this is our small commentary on it, that this is not the way we should build our democracy, because what has happened means that my friend Abronye will scandalize the court. He can say anything about the Supreme Court. And then they'll issue a warrant, and then he will come to court and say, I have a certiorari. Because today, they were citing Kennedy Japan. That, Kennedy Japan too scandalized the court. Didn't he scandalize? And then they went and then they removed him. So Abronya will come and say, na Kennedy Japan scandalized court. Kevin Taylor scandalized, and then the confusion will start. A court will say they won't give certiorari. MPP will put people on the streets. Police will shoot at them. And then we are turning it upside down. Because these days, with power of media, gun doesn't win. Gun doesn't go anywhere. You shoot your... Look at Togo, they are in crisis. Look at Ruto in Kenya, all over the place. Gun doesn't go anywhere. So Abronya will go and do that. And then he knows what he's doing. He is sure about what he's doing. Then they'll go and catch him and take him to a Kumasi High Court. And he'll say he won't go. He won't go. Then you bring certiorari to the Supreme Court, and the Chief Justice may or may not list it. I don't know. Or he lists it and then the certiorari fails. And then the MPP say, hey, why is the certiorari failing? When this one? And then they say, today, then we are going. They are in opposition. They don't have much work to do. They are looking for something. And then they charge in Kumasi and put 1 million people on. Kill them. And let's see. And whose fault would it be? Whose fault? Whose fault would it be? Okay, go to Ghana neighbor and let Apreku join me. Apreku, please come. No, hold on. Apreku is here. He can come. He can just come. So, come, let's do it. We don't have much time. We run away. I like your outfit, man.
Thank you.
So you were in court this morning, very briefly. So, what happened?
So the court ruled. So initially, when the party, that is Kevin Taylor and his lawyer, the Leonard Peter Okujeto, were in court, the Attorney General's Department did not appear. No, the picture of the Supreme Court, please.
Yeah, that's the Supreme Court. He wants the Supreme Court building. Okay.
So the lawyer, the states, the Attorney General's Department, no representative came from the Attorney General's Department. In fact, Justice...
No one.
That is so. I mean, there were lawyers from the Attorney General's Department for other matters, but not specifically for this one.
So the Attorney General was not represented?
Yes. And indeed, I remember Justice Amadou Tanko insisted and said that everybody must see that indeed the Attorney General's Department was saved, and they did not appear. Indeed.
They did not appear?
Yes, there was no representative.
But they can do that? It's easy to do
that? Well, you may, but it would be best to at least appear and tell the court, exactly, appear and tell the court that we have no interests opposing the motion, but not to appear. But maybe somebody was also assigned, maybe the person could not make it, and so we cannot really jump the gun and make conclusions. It would be quite unfair to them. And so the decision was handed down. We do not have the full complement of the judgment of the ruling yet in respect of this matter, but it would seem that the main arguments the court was making was that the procedure is that the courts must first make what we call a summons. The summons, as we discussed earlier, the summons is directed at the person to attend court and show why he should not be placed in custody. The argument that actually erupted after, and in fact before, which we discussed here earlier, was that the summons operates in this instance also as an arrest warrant, in the sense that the arrest warrant is to show cause why he should not be committed.
So when such a person is arrested, he's not being taken to jail. He's being taken to court.
To court to show why he should
to the same court that did the warrant.
Exactly, why he should not be thrown behind bars.
And he can make arguments.
Yes, he can make arguments. So he can beg, he can make a constitutional argument. In fact, I even believe that, that's my opinion, Kevin Taylor should have gone before Chamber 4. And
to withdraw.
Not withdraw, but even make the argument that the power of contempt, the ambit of the power of contempt, there should be an interpretative, the Supreme Court should have interpretative guidelines for the exercise of the power of contempt.
That is too broad.
It's too broad, it's too vague, so that there could be some jurisprudential discussion, and then upon that we go to the Supreme Court for a determination. But we have missed out on that opportunity because... But
maybe he was worried that if he appears before Chamber 4, Chamber 4 will say, I don't agree with you, go to jail.
Well, that is one way to look at it. Everybody.
But
must
somebody was
face the
telling me
music
that the
he
other way
plays.
to have gone about it was that I bring him before Chebafo. Whilst he's standing there, his lawyer informs Chebafo that the certiorari application has been filed at the Supreme Court against you. Can you stay and let's hear the certiorari application?
That's
and then the application is granted, and so Chebafo knows that would have been. I mean, they use certain words.
The purpose of the thing is that the arrest warrant is directed at law enforcement agencies to procure someone's attendance. And so the arrest warrant in and of itself is not a process or a procedure that goes on in courts. It is directed at the police. It's more or less an order of the police.
To go and bring this guy to the court.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A summons is directed at an individual to appear. Unlike the arrest warrant that is directed at the police
to go and get him.
To procure the
But
attendance.
arrest warrants can also location a person hearing about it, show up.
Oh yes. If you hear there's an arrest warrant,
so if it
you,
is true that there were agencies of state who protected him away from the court, will they have committed an offense in the light of a certiorari having been issued later?
I mean, at the time it was issued, and that
they found him.
Yes. So the legal principle: if you and I litigate over land, and the court gives you judgments, and the court says that you are the winner, and therefore the land is yours, I cannot say because I disagree, I am not complying with the order of the court. Till that order is set aside, it is the law, and it is what's supposed to stand.
So those persons may, if it's true that happened, they may have questions to answer.
Exactly, but the thing is that it is the state that ensures these things are followed through. But it seems the state also did not appear in this instance for whatever reason. So we are waiting for the full reasons of the courts in respect of this issue to make a full and comprehensive analysis as to why the courts ruled in this manner. But I'm sure it's an issue of maybe a view of technicality against intent or whatever. I don't think maybe the courts would have.
There's a matter that I have to bring to your attention. It's been on most of the NDC platforms. They said that Kennedy Japan. There's another article that says Kennedy Japan's own was completely different. Kennedy Japan scandalized the court by attacking a judge. A judge issued a warrant. He went to the Supreme Court on the basis that the judge did not ask him to come and defend himself. The position of Kennedy Japan's lawyers was that Kennedy Japan is a member of Parliament, and you know where to find him. So the judge should have issued it on Parliament that produced Kennedy Japan, and they would have done so. But to go ahead without hearing him and do that, and that's the decision the Supreme Court took. So they are thinking that it's on all fours, as the lawyers say, with this one, and there's a lot of disagreement on social media.
The issue of
that in this one, there was no way to serve him. He was not going to be willing to come. So it's clearly different if you issue the arrest warrant. You know.
The issue of service, particularly for MPs, is that there is a specific way MPs are served. So for me, if somebody wants to sue me, the person can meet me, can come to my office at Adabraka and give me a sue wherever. I'll come here on my way home. But MPs, it's different. There are days they are supposed to be served. In fact, in Parliament, there are officers that can receive processes from the courts on behalf of MPs. And the rationale is that the job of Parliament is very fundamental. We were all in this country when the D levy was passed at 11:30, 12 a.m. And so the nature of Parliament is it is standing for the 4 years. There are times here.
So every minute he's in Parliament.
Every minute
he's deemed to be doing parliamentary work.
Either exactly going to or from. Even the act of parliamentarians going from place to place, you know, talking to.
It's all deemed to be part of
parliamentary work. Parliamentary work is not just sitting in the chamber and saying yeah. And so the rationale behind that can be said that there is a format, and we all know the position of the law in the NCHC case, that when the law lays down a specific process for doing something, it is that process that ought to be followed. In this instance, Kevin Taylor is not an MP. There is no specific instance for procuring his attendance. There's no specific process for procuring his attendance. In any case, the other side may also argue that in any case, it is still the same thing, that the summons must have been issued, and then upon him failing to attend courts, the arrest warrants, because the issuance of the arrest warrant also puts some, makes him a sort of pariah. People begin to say, hey, now you arrest warrants, well, so now there's an arrest warrant on you, and so the court should have afforded him the opportunity to attend, and then upon failing to attend, then he would, the courts could
so
have
those who now want to sue Kevin Taylor, and those who have sued him already and obtained judgment, is it good news for them? Is it better news for them than that he's not available?
It's not. Well, he has to be saved. He has to be saved. And if his location in Ghana cannot be found, they can attempt service 3 times. if they attempt service 3 times, they can apply for what we call substituted service, where he can be served through WhatsApp, he can be served Facebook, posting notice on the walls of the high courts, on the notice.
So you post Facebook and tag him.
Yeah, you can post on Facebook and tag him.
And then the trial can start.
Exactly.
It will be assumed that he doesn't want to participate.
Exactly.
Then you go and get a judgment.
And then can get
then whenever you can enforce it against him.
Exactly. You do what we call entry of judgment, where you detail the amount of money that has to be collected from him. And then you also attempt service of the entry of judgment. If still the process, you do it 3 times, you come for substituted service, it is posted, and then it can be enforced. However, if he is not in the jurisdiction, that is also there's a different procedure for instituting actions against people that are not in the jurisdiction.
But given that he's not ordinarily resident here, he may not change that. Is he now to be considered as in the jurisdiction or not?
Yeah, he's a Ghanaian citizen, and he lives. Well, I won't say he lives here, but
he has been here to seek legal process,
exactly,
legal redress.
Yes, and he attended. In fact, if those who were going after him may have suspected he would have been at the Supreme Court, they could have been hiding at the premises. So immediately he came out.
You had a conversation between me and another lawyer who said that he just got there and then the Prado took off and he taken the number of the Prado and he's doing something.
He should have sat on an Okada and chased the Prado.
He said he just got there and the Prado took off. He was just going to get the bailiffs to arrest the Prado that he was using so that national security will beat them up and then we can have a story.
Maybe the lawyer is a gentleman. Someone would have sat on an Okada and chased the Prado because once he leaves the court premises, how are you going to find him again? And in our jurisprudence, service is so fundamental.
Yeah.
If you have not served a process on a party, the courts can say, I do not have jurisdiction to.
But here you can do substituted service.
Exactly. That's it. So, and even the substituted service, there's a threshold. You have to attempt service 3 times.
At least 3 times.
At least 3 times.
So that you are unable to reach him.
I'm unable to reach him. And any future attempts
will be futile. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the courts would give
because he would have left Prestige Link and gone back to America or gone to
I don't know if it's at #1 Prestige Link, but that is what is in there.
I hear they are doing party. They are doing party today.
Oh, thank you very much. You are victorious. You have to celebrate.
Thank you.
My life is in stages.
Intim Fojo is here, and let me talk to Intim Fojo. But whilst I do that, please give me 2 text messages each if you can. Did I leave my paper over there? Let me take my paper. Yes, thank you. Let's do. So should I begin with Fatih? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Fatih, what are they saying?
It says, good evening, Paul. It appears that our judiciary is currently on its knees. Let's pray for God's intervention. 74 says, in fact, I give up on Ghana. I'll keep staying here in America with my family. The way the NDC is governing the nation is very bad. Also coming from Julius Amakos, he says, if this Kelvin Taylor stays in Ghana, then he should be ready because a lot of people would take him to court for defamation. What do you have for us?
All right, so Master Planner Jr. says the Supreme Court has now changed from unanimous FC to 4-1 FC. They can't even keep a clean sheet. The decision to quash the arrest warrant is totally unacceptable and erroneous. Amatella has insulted almost everyone in this country, from pastors to imams to journalists, politicians, among others. Anyway, crime has no expiry date. Let's give time some time. Greetings to Lawyer Justin Kodria Frimpong. Now, Saeed Countryman says, this grossly miscalculated effort to save one man from accountability is not only infuriating, but equally, albeit regrettably, maligning of the very courts whose independence has been dealt a deathly blow. Unseen hands have granted the NDC's chief slanderer more leave to do more in insults and slander and libel. This is a day of shame, and John Mahama will go down in history as one man who made, sorry to say, nonsense of the respect accorded justices of the courts. Now back to you, Paul.
Well, thank you very much. Dr. Reverend Intim Fojo, you spoke on Adom FM about the gentleman arriving in town and as defense ranking member. What is your take now?
Yeah, Paul, it's really a sad day for Ghana, particularly when the enterprise of people who, on various social media have made it their business to be insulting, bastardizing, and passing derogatory comments about presidents, about chiefs, about imams, even the whole entire religion of Islam, and almost every important person in society now receives state security, state protocol. Right from the manifest, when his flight showed up and his name popped up, because that ruling persisted by the court, and that Kevin Taylor there was a bench warrant that was pending on him, they quickly should have activated the necessary security apparatus to get him arrested and to cooperate with the judges. But what do we see? He was rather received on the tarmac, taken through Gates 19 VVIP, and when some of us put it out there, some publics, some section of Ghanaians thought that it was some imagination. And today, when he did appear before court, then they said, oh, okay, so you knew what you were talking about. Why would we put out anything that is not verified? So indeed, he came within the first week of July, he arrived. We have the full details, flight pictures and all those details. And it is so disappointing that at the time, when Ghana has taken a decision to strip off every civilian of military protection,
including members of parliament,
and the chairman of EC and the deputy chair, this is the time Kevin Taylor receives full military protection, drive him all the way to procedural.
And the Minister of Defense says that he's not a member of the immigration.
You know, to
answer such questions.
And I mean, just watch the posture. And if that was something that was true, would that have been the posture? We have to be very serious in this country. So the Minister for Defense, knowing very well that military no longer ought to be deployed for the protection of civilians, should not even have engaged in that act.
That was their own
they are
policy.
Equally complicit.
That's their own policy, saying military no more.
Military
and
no
then
more.
In the same breath, the people who do the policy hand over military to.
So now what you're saying is that military will no longer protect people legitimately doing their business, but just go and insult on behalf of the big man, go and insult on behalf of the party, go and insult on behalf of government, and you will secure, the surest way to securing military protection is just go and just pass any derogatory comment at all, even at the court, at judges, and you will earn your right to a military protection. Very dangerous times we live in, very disappointing times. As a member who receives a GIC briefing, joint intelligence briefing, you know very well the arrival of such persons of interest to the state. And so you don't giggle and gaggle or whatever posture you did and to urge the journalists that they should go and file RTI or go to immigration officers, because this information is available to all who despise the military. Because the military cannot, even if the military acted unlawfully, there's no way they will be emboldened to go all the way to VVIP Gates 19 in the full glare of cameras. They'll be seen. And to go in vehicles, put him in and give him protection in security zones. Prestige Link is no ordinary premises. So this act, they've glorified the act of person insulting, the business of insults. This is how high they've glorified it. But you see, NDC and President Mahama have no idea how big they've chipped off their goodwill by their complicity.
They don't agree with that.
Well, they may not agree, but the reality, that's how it happens to you politicians. That is politicians' sickness. And by the day they will realize the harm this complicity has done their image, their brand, their governance, they would know that.
Dr. Manembama said something that may also be of interest to you, that guns were given to national security by Akufo-Addo and Dominic Nitiwu. He didn't say that, but I'm just adding that. So by Akufo-Addo and Dominic Nitiwu to national security, he made a point that people thought was a good point, that national security is not a fighting unit. He's wondering why they were giving guns, but he also seemed to suggest earlier that those guns are missing. But listening to Broja Jemfi on Joy FM yesterday, he said the guns are not missing. It is about the irregularity of the procedure. What have you found?
There's nothing irregular. As a matter of fact, there is no gun that is missing, no ammunition are missing.
They've been accounted for?
They got their narrative wrong. You see, Paul, the practice of state security having collaborations and at times going for equipment or ammunition from one security agency in order to be able to have some joint operations and later to bring those ammunition back. It's normal practice, not only in Ghana, but in many parts of the world. And this is not the first time that a sister security agency had to go to one sister security agency. As a matter of fact, in time past, several years, you can say 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, even as recent as 12 years, 15 years, even previously when they were in power, you would find on record times where Ghana Immigration Service, for certain specific operations, will go to the Ghana Police Service, for instance, for guns, for certain ammunitions, for certain operations. and for a specific period of
but
time.
Immigration Service is doing border control.
Yes.
But what about national security?
Paul, do you know the number of times the military runs to national security for some specific support? For operations, yes. So imagine the same way.
They say it was irregular. How did the guns
It is not irregular. Because the system of inventory management and in Ghana Armed Forces is such that the armory, the warehouse, the whole where those logistics are kept, it goes through a number of layers of protocol. There's a whole unit of officials in charge of that. Before even one ammunition, a single ammunition, will be issued out. There's proper record of it as to which officer is receiving it, or which institution is receiving it, or which state security is receiving it. Somebody signs for it, and the purpose for which the person is going to use it is also documented. So when you go into the records of Ghana Armed Forces, Paul, it's not going to be difficult to obtain all these records. So if the matter himself, the minister brought it to our attention. It was a matter we dealt with in-house.
Oh, is it brought to Parliament?
Yes,
already?
he brought it. We held it before
interesting.
Parliament, before the committee at one point, and it was one of the matters we discussed in camera. And so we thought that it was a matter that should not even come out until we saw him on TV, sharing it with the public and trying to scandalize the Ghana Armed Forces and even scandalizing the national security. These institutions cannot be scandalized in any way. No ammunition is missing. So if he has expressed clearly difficulty in resolving this matter, we, the committee, have taken interest. So we will invite him and invite National Security Coordinator and invite all the key actors within the logistics, the inventory management.
And what about the former ones? The former National Security Coordinator, the former Minister of National Security, shouldn't they also be?
Yes, we will invite all the key actors. No ammunition is missing. And so if a sister agency comes to take ammunitions for a certain, if you are going into election, you need to be prepared for everything to go at all in making sure there's peaceful election, peaceful transition, and all that. And so you don't need to, get into surprises. So all those arrangements, and that wasn't the first time. It is done each time elections are being held, for all the transitions, even for all the regular elections. So it's just a matter of, and see, Paul, when we say national security, there is no force called national security. So national security is a secretariat that plays a coordinating role between NIB, the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Armed Forces, immigration, and all the security agencies. And therefore, operatives who may have been so assigned to that operation for which such number of ammunitions were required for were the ones that those ammunitions will be released for. And so at the end of that operation, there's a way they keep it and return it. So if that has not been returned back to the armory where it's supposed to be, that's a conversation we would have and support the minister to make sure it is brought back, but not to scandalize, the national security or to create the impression that certain number of ammunitions are missing to suggest that they might probably be found in the hands of wrong people or in civilians' hands. That is not the case at all. So the record has to be put there. But see, the broader conversation we should be having now is for them to come to Parliament and to make a case for additional logistics and additional procurement of ammunitions and armory, and apologize to Ghanaians how they played politics when Ghana determined that our presidential jet, some 4 or 5 years ago, was not in a state befitting for president to use, and for which conversation should have been had for the purchase of a new one. They chose to do politics with it. And each time the president had to use a private jet, people like Okujeto Ablakwa were all over town doing politics, politicizing, scandalizing it, when there was really much ado about nothing. Because at that point, you recall, the Falcon was purchased sometime under President Kufuor. So it's been so long. And when it goes for maintenance, sometimes it goes for as long as 3 months, as long as 6 months. There were even times in the records of Hansard where the former Minister for Defense, Honorable Dominic Nitiwu, had to appear before Parliament and even give specific responses to certain faults on the flight. And all these, they would wish it away and say, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with it, and that the president has decided not to use the presidential jet. Just 7 months on, the president is not able to use it. And now they are suddenly realizing that the Falcon is not in a good shape and that a new presidential jet must be purchased. We, on the MPP side, will not do that irresponsible, opposition posture. We would prioritize the safety of the president and safeguard presidential travels. But we are waiting for them, the Minister for Defense, to make a case before Parliament, apologize to President Akufo-Addo, apologize to Ghanaians for the wrong posture they took, and now to secure or to solicit our support so we can have a conversation around raising funding to purchase that, and then any other armory and additional fighter jets, additional armored personnel carriers, additional armored buses, and any other surveillance aerial drones, weaponized, and any other critical requirements which we need to support the Ghana Armed Forces with.
Well, thank you very much. Were you at the Legon on Saturday?
Yes, I was. Okay. Yes, I gave the opening prayer.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And I must commend the organizers for the fantastic job done. I mean, this is the best conference I've seen in any political party.
One thing that excited me is that I spoke to the NPP General Secretary ahead of the Congress, and I told him that during the campaign, the NDC presentation of their rallies was better, more professional than yours. And I'm really hoping that this will change.
Yeah.
He called me back 2-3 days and said, "Yeah, we found the clues to change," and it changed.
Great.
Sound quality, appearance, presentation, stage, orderliness, the stage was massive.
The coordination.
It didn't look like a party that was broke. So it means they say NPP people have money. Where did they get it from?
I think it's not so much about funding, but so much about the teamwork and ideas and making sure that things were done on points and things were done very sound. And I must commend all the team, the committee that were in charge and all those that supported them. And particularly the people who were on the day coordinating all the activities. I mean, we had a great, very fruitful...
We heard that people contributed. We heard that Dr. Baumia contributed, Kennedy Japon contributed. How much did you contribute, Reverend Intim Fojo?
I contributed my prayer.
Oh, your prayer. Absolutely. Kojo Japon Kruma is here to tell us about the amendments. You remember he led it on the stage. So thank you, Reverend Intim Fojo. Let's go to the video again. Ghana Nyiba, as Kojo Japon Kruma joins us.
I'm George. Who the hell do you think you are? Foolishness. We pay you. Master, I don't want any foolish idiot to text me later. Who the hell is Sam George? I say, who the hell is that fool? I'm ready for you any day. Foolish man. Ube who say, a drobi o baby. Me say, remember we drag at them. Me say, ube wrong what's not from. Me, I'm telling you that. If somebody thinks I'm sitting here because of Mahama, then you are stupidly stupid. I'm telling you. You can call your Mahama and ask him. And if John Mahama thinks I'm sitting here because of him, he is thinking stupidly. O men shebia honte akonwa bia te se toilet o you hine se bedi anim na musuomra eso ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom edian hine na yedi ni sa no edian hine na yedi ni sa no wo na wo ma santemai sei otufo wo na wo se santemai o tom e bia o mon kan kire wo asantemai sei e ye wo otufo na otufo te wo na yesi sebio wo na nanom mo baaye no sa nkwase asem we komo so ankenda akonwa kase we enkeda ho mo so nsemfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na ye so nyoma so otufo you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. See 2 million asante biem 2 million ni menhia biem Mumpaya wo wi ase nyina ye showa masarai bebediza when the Corinthians onimdie wo nyina ontumi san ba yare Ankan Williams ono so ne ba no so aboda mo se den osoro na ate chain we ni kwate fia te se mire edidi nkwase asem o TikTok was Ankan William wa bompa ye wo wi ase nyina de brofo abo ontumi san ba yare na mo mogimigimi ara mensa otabo akwatena court a bank board so we wi sika tetram o de nam Ghana osoro na hye Igbo curtains rebe obofo se hwanhwan ne nine say Egyptian pen o de nkwase afo de chi wagigi mu sika nyina koto phantom and o ka kire mu se osom no e ya azan afa wa oba no fon chen mi and why kese chen mi I said if Somalia ekuro bi ade friend nkinkensu and ade ne baaye and otwa hwa na fo no some wagimi arimi yawe edidi chief imam office de chi and oye corruption edwuma ho because odum say chief imam nyini chief imam on TV chief imam on tie radio and arimi yawe na bodwe se peg and enkwase politics no the chief imam office ne ye
retailer in the country. Unfortunately, I'm not an immigration officer. and so, I mean, how do you expect, I mean, I'm not an immigration officer. I mean, for those who act, take unnecessary steps, find out from immigration, unless the person did not come through lawful borders. So some of these are things causing the national discourse.
Welcome back to the show, and thank you very much for your time. Honorable Kojo Ponkrumah, Member of Parliament for Fuasia Yerebi, is here, and he's going to tell us about that amendment. First of all, congratulations. That was an impressive, I think the most impressive MPP Congress for a while. It was good.
We're grateful.
And I think that the organizers got it right to get people to obey, don't wear partisan T-shirt. I was really concerned that, Charlie, the guys are going to wear what they want to wear. You can't, but everyone seemed to have obeyed it.
And I think it's because people are clear in their minds that, listen, this is our first, may I say, major activity after the loss of 2024. It's a time of sober reflection. I mean, even the kind of music we were playing there was not the kind of, upbeat jamming kind of thing. No, that's not what we're doing. You needed everybody to be in a particular
So
mood.
what music did you play?
Oh, it was a lot of
gospel,
gospel songs, reflective songs. The messages that were being delivered were messages of reflection, unity, etc. And I think it all contributed to people's compliance, to the rules that had been set.
Watching you go through the amendments was very interesting and very exciting, with the excitement and enthusiasm with which you did it. I mean, I don't know whether you have been a gong beater before, but you did it excellently. That amendment that said youth age, everyone was waiting for that.
54.
And I'm suggesting to you, Honourable Minister, that I think you yourself, you wanted the amendment to fail. Because the way you said they should take the vote again. I mean, what was the amendment? What was it asking for?
The amendment, motion number 54, sought to reduce the definition of youth to 35, borrowing from some of the best practices around the world.
But I thought it was 45. When did it become 35?
Well, no, so it's 40.
No, that's what you guys ended up. But
yes.
You read the UN,
yes,
which was some
the UN,
20
the
something.
WHO, yes, I mean there are different.
But that's youth ends at 20 something.
No, there are different rules. So, for example, the UN puts the age bracket between 15 to 24.
But 15 to 24 is youth for UN.
Yes, the WHO says 15 to 29. UNICEF says 15 to 24. The ILO says 15 to 24. The African Youth Charter says 15 to 35. And in Ghana, the National Youth Authority Act 939 says 15 to 35. So it was based on this that we're arguing that let's come down to 35.
For youth?
Yes. And conference was of the
was the ramification? If you use 35, so what? So somebody who is over 35 cannot contest for National Youth Organization?
Yes, and then you have more room for young people to, explore their own ideas and initiatives and things that matter to them. But as we did the consultations, you could see that it was a very, very split view on that particular motion. There were a number of proposals. So in all, we had over 300 proposals that came in.
But sorry, what were you amending? What was the status quo before? 40? And you kept it at 40?
Yes, because conference rejected the motion.
Okay.
So, you know, we heard over 300 motions. Lawyer Frank Davis and the entire committee worked for over 3 months. We then did a number of focus group discussions. We had a sit-down workshop with President Kufuor, sit-down workshop with President Akufo-Addo, with Vice President Baumia, and a number of party elders from Boache Jako to Kwabene Japan to everybody. Proponents of various ideas were invited, focus group discussions, and then we simplified it to 56 motions. So that particular motion, motion number 54, having listened to everybody, was aimed at putting the question whether or not we should come down to 35. And you will recall in my rendition, I mentioned that, Chairman, the views are very split on this. And the vote was taken. Initially, Chairman wasn't hearing well, so, you know, the vote was taken a second time.
I'm sure the people lobbied you that
oh, no.
When you get to this point, keep the 40.
No, no.
Do you have a friend who wants to run for National Youth Organizer who is 39?
I have quite a number of friends who want to run for National Youth Organizer.
Are they 39?
Well, I don't know their ages. But in the end, conference decided that, no, let's keep it at 40.
That was impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the other thing which everyone wants to hear is about who votes on January 31st. But before then, still on this one, you also said that the voting for National Youth Organizer and Women's Organizer will be done by who?
So now, by the amendments that have been done, all women will participate in the vote for the National Women Organizer. Initially, it used to be only the women organizers who participated in that vote. So the Electoral College for deciding who the women's organizer is used to be just the women organizers. Now all
women organizers means what? Greater Accra Regional Youth Women Organizer, Regional Women Organizers, Constituency Women Organizers, and polling station. Are they women organizers?
Well, at the national level, the polling station officers don't participate in the national level.
Okay.
So it starts from constituency. So yes, that is what it was. But now, once you are a woman, you participate in that. And the rationale.
Once you're a woman from where?
Once you are
member
a woman
of the party
who is an executive from constituency all the way to national. You could be a secretary and a woman. You could be a treasurer,
you're a treasurer and a woman.
But once you're a woman, you participate in it.
So all women executives from constituency, regional,
will
and
now
national
participate in that.
So you're sort of expanding it. And then the youth one too is what?
Same thing. So now all youth
below the age of 40.
Yes, will participate in determining who becomes our National Youth Organizer. It is no longer the prerogative of youth organizers to decide who becomes.
But that can be a huge number.
It is. Because, and if you look at our
so that's both men and women.
Yes. If you look at
that's a big one.
Yes, if you look at our recommendation, the real intent is to move to one man, one vote by 2028. That is the recommendation we have made. That by 2028, every card-bearing member of the MPP in good standing should participate in decision making. And the reason is that if you go back to the Michael Quay report and the consultations, there was that perception that many people were not involved in decision making. It didn't necessarily mean they disagreed with that decision, but they said, we didn't participate in it. And so we want to have a say, we want to participate in it. And so after all the consultations, the view is to get to that point where we have one man, one vote. But as part of efforts to get there today, we can expand and say, well, then let all the youth participate, let all the women participate in these special elections, even while we expand. We've expanded now by about 40%.
Oh, is that as much as that?
Yes. If you look at the various...
So about how many people are casting the votes on January 31st?
So the register will now be compiled because not everybody who has been given a right may take it up or may even be in a position to exercise that. You have so for example, right now...
So you're going to do a new register?
Yes.
I don't get it.
Okay, so now that this expansion has taken place, that register has to be compiled.
At the constituency levels?
At the national level, but of course it will start from the various levels. And let me explain to you. So now, per these amendments, voting rights have been granted to, let's say, all former ministers who are card-bearing members of the party. And
all former ministers?
Yes.
Who are card-bearing members?
Yes. And
so, I'm sure Nana Komia has other voting capacity, but let me use him as an example. So Nana Komia, former minister.
Yes.
If he didn't have any other capacity, his former minister qualifies him.
Yes.
If he's a card-bearing member.
Yes. Now you have other former ministers who have left the party.
Like how?
Alan Chamantin, for example, has left the party.
Okay.
So you have people who rights have been conferred on, but they will not get into the register. So they now have to take time to do that whole compilation. For example, you've got former constituency executives who now have a voting right in the elections that are supposed to take place. That album needs to be compiled. Some of them may have passed on. Some of them may not even be members of the party anymore. So now that these rights have been conferred, you are now going to go through the process of compiling these registered, first at the constituency level, comes to the regional level, then comes to the national level, and then you can answer that definite question.
How many
but
people
these
are
rights
okay, so
have now been
who are the additions? Former ministers? Deputy ministers part of it?
Well, the definition of ministers for
includes
this purpose will include.
Okay, so former ministers and deputy ministers.
Yes, yes.
Now,
former
if you say,
district chief executives.
Hold on, if you say they are not card-bearing, they have to be card-bearing members.
Yes.
If I'm a former deputy minister today, I'm not a card-bearing member, and then I go and do the card now before January, am I qualified?
You are qualified if you.
So long as it's before they put the thing together.
Yes.
I see. So
but you see, the card-bearing nature is aimed at determining that you are still a member of the party.
Okay.
So the real intendment is not just to get a card; is to have evidence that you are still a member of the party. And you know that, I mean, if you go back to President Kufuor's era, there were persons who were appointed to serve as ministers in the MPP government who were not MPP.
Pakwesindum.
Alamisa, you know, a few other persons. So that compilation is now going to take place. But the idea is to expand as much as possible. So now you've got former constituency executives, former regional executives, you've got parliamentary candidates.
Candidates?
Yes. You've got...
So you lost, but
yes.
you are... So all the Volta region, all our MPs in Volta region who have been losing, they can participate.
Yes. You've got former members of parliament. You've got former ministers of state. You've got all of the members of the Council of Elders, for example. The external branches have had some numbers increased for them. So these are the various categories.
What about, so you have former members of, members of parliament, former members of parliament, former DCs?
Yes.
Former?
Yes. All the way from...
Well, now every DC is former, of course.
Well, yeah, all the way from President Kufuor's time, former DCs.
From President Kufuor?
Yes.
2000,
yes.
25 years ago.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you were DC then and you didn't become a DC.
By this because you see, by the old constitution, and if you look at the constitution as amended, I think in 2017, you could have been a former district chief executive who had served in the MPP government, maybe even for 2 terms, but you did not qualify to participate in the decision making of the party. And so you have some of these people.
That's awkward.
Yeah, they've got large constituencies of their own. They are persons of influence, and they say, well, I am not feeling like I'm a part of the decision making, and so maybe I'll just sit home and watch what is going on. We are bringing all of those people back on board. You've got a former constituency chairman, a former regional chairman, who will not have voting rights or did not have voting rights.
That's interesting.
And so those are some of the corrections that we have done.
That's going to create some excitement at the base.
It is. There were 24 motions on expanding the electoral colleges in the party, and each of these motions brings various categories of people like this nature into it. And then we had the motions on party governance, and then the motions on policy as well. Because again, if you go back to the Michael Quay report, what are we solving for? We are solving for the issues that led to our loss in the election. 4 main issues. This phenomena of so many people not being included in decision making, the phenomena of policy decisions left to the government alone, and sometimes even deviating from the party's philosophical positioning.
So like e-levy?
Many of them. We can go through a whole list, but the point is that a political party is built on a certain philosophy. We are a liberal conservative party. We are right of center. What is our philosophical position on, let's say, free compulsory universal basic education, or on healthcare expansion, LGBT. If the party does not make a clear effort to have those defined by itself, it is left to a candidate after he has been elected to state his position, and then when he comes to power to begin to execute. And so the view of the party was that we need, as a party, to take a stronger position when it comes to policy formulation, using our philosophical position, so that if you, Paul, become our flag bearer at some point, you don't just run off with your own ideas, but the party itself, and one of those motions, I think motion number 26, now requires that every time we go to conference, the sector committees will present position papers.
I see.
Whether we are in opposition or we are in government. So if you're a minister and you are functioning in a way that the party is of the view, or your sector is functioning in a way that the party is of the view, is not conforming to our philosophy, they'll call you out at conference. And that would be a stronger check.
That's very close to the UK system.
Yes, that would be a stronger check on a government. So motions 26, 27, 30 were the policy motions aimed at strengthening the party's say in governance policy, regardless of who
is that not inching towards a small constitutional sidestep? And it appears to me that it's getting too much like the UK system, where they have a parliamentary system, therefore the party is very strong.
Yes.
In the American constitutional system, the people are voting for a president, 50% plus one. It is him that the world is expecting the policy from. They don't care about the party. The party can stand behind him. But if we are now, so we're going to have a government by the party more than a government by the elected president and his cabinet.
No, so you're going to have a government which has an elected president and the cabinet, but their ideas have to be based, at least if it is our party, the ideas have to be based on the philosophy of the party. Because first of all, you are running with the flag of the party. You are even seeking to be flag bearer of the party. What are our values and our ideas that you ascribe to, with which you are going to govern? We must define it clearly. So that when you become the flag bearer, you are not now coming to imagine some new ideas.
So if you become flag bearer, the party says we are doing free SHS. You are doing free SHS as a president.
That is not exactly how we intend it. What we intend it to be is, for example, the Constitution of Ghana says free, compulsory, universal, basic education. As a party that is right of center, how do we envisage that being done in the best way? The whole party must have a way of thinking through it, and at conference being able to articulate it, so that tomorrow when you become president, even if you want to do free SHS as the way to do it, your free SHS is based on our philosophical understanding and approach. I'll give you an example. There's a big debate now about universal health care. And one of the instruments to use towards that is health insurance. That if everybody has health insurance, then access to health care, you are getting close to the universal nature. And I recall I was vice chairman of our manifesto committee. We had a big philosophical debate where a group was thinking that the way to achieve it is to eliminate the health insurance premium and tax everybody so that everybody is covered. And then we had a very strong philosophical block that says that as a conservative party that believes in less taxation and more, may I say, individual contribution to solutions, we should rather be promoting a proper premium-based health insurance system and less taxation, so that you reduce the tax component and free up the tax space and let people pay their premiums adequately, benefit from it, and know that if I pay my premiums, I have coverage to include chronic diseases, etc. So a party like ours should not be one that says that let's tax the people more for health insurance. A party like ours should be the one that says that let's get the premiums to an appropriate level and even take away or reduce the taxes to the barest minimum. That is how the philosophical approach now affects it. So tomorrow when you become president, you don't go off and say that I'm going to scrap the health insurance premium and increase the tax for health insurance because I want to achieve universal health coverage. That is how the philosophical thinking now begins to affect the policy. So we've expanded the policy committees, we've set up a policy directorate, and now we are requiring papers to be presented at conference. That's also how you're going to see that there's a young sharp doctor from Sehi who participated in the health subcommittee conference, and the ideas that he's bringing are fantastic. So even identification of talent.
So he can be deputy minister if we win.
It's not supposed to be based on who knows the candidate and who knows this, but you are creating room for more policy work to come to the fore. And all of those were lessons from the Michael Quay report, which are now part of our amendments.
So, for instance, the Constitution says independence of the judiciary. So, as a party, you're going to formulate your philosophy. When we say independence of the judiciary, it means that you can never entertain a petition to remove a Chief Justice. You can never do this. You don't have a court of appeal of more than this. You cannot have a high court of this. You must have a high court in every district. That's what you mean.
That is
something the Constitution has provided for.
Exactly.
You form a policy around it.
We form our policy position around it based on our philosophy as a party, which will then inform things that the party should. I mean, take, I think it was Tony Blair, who tried to make a certain argument of what they called New Labour at the time and challenged the Labour Party that, listen, we need to begin to move from some of these positions because Britain is changing and you need to move. You have to make a strong case to convince. But it is important for the party to have clarity on who we are, what we stand for, what we want to do, even as we go.
So that when people are going to vote, they know that if I vote for MPP, this is how education would look like. Exactly. Whether it's whoever is an MPP, I don't care. Exactly. I just have to vote for the MPP because if I vote for the MPP, education will look like this. Exactly. Or I don't want to vote for the MPP because I vote for them, health will look like this. Yes. I like this other one. Yes. Okay, so Tony Edu will like that because he used to. But I mean, Tony Edu failed trying to get the NDC to do this in the late 90s.
Well, we have know what you're about to say. They have gone through it and they are about to take.
Did you circulate it way days before?
We did. Okay. So by Article 19 of our Constitution, the General Secretary is required to circulate all the proposals. So all 300 or so proposals were circulated. And then we then distilled it into 56. When they arrived, the day before conference, everybody got one of this with the motions listed and the justifications listed. And I'm very proud of our nearly 7,000 delegates who came. They spent time to read it. So as you were calling out the motions and giving the justification, they knew what they wanted and what they didn't want. So they shot down 2 of the motions and accepted.
Let me ask you a final question that's controversial. Your opponents, the NDC, said that instead of the MPP apologizing, they are sitting down changing. I mean, did you come and apologize for all the nonsense that they did? They lost the election. Was that a missing point, or you get there later?
Charity begins at home. The first thing we have to do is to put our house in order. We've had a party that has had a de facto leader for the last 16 years. He's no longer there. There will be a scramble for power. We've lost a major election. There's a bit of, blame game going around. We have to put our house in order. We have to get, for example, these are policy teams together. And then we can have the exercise of engaging the entire country. There are things we did in government that were absolutely right. And then there were things we did in government that didn't go well. We will get to that point where we, after this introspection, confront all of those. But first, we have to put our house in order, and that's what we are doing now.
That's a great answer to the question. Please, Kobe, do you have some messages? Let's see whether we can take some, and if there are some he has to respond to, he can.
All right, thank you. So this is coming from Azinga Isaac, and he says, I'd like to know when the... Okay, so he says, I would like to know when the NPP would open their registers for new members to join the party. And Chef Mana says, I must commend the NPP fraternity for a very successful conference. I'm very optimistic that the party would be more united going forward and ensure that we elect a credible flag bearer who can win power for the NPP in 2028. And kudos to my Honorable Oponkoma for his vivid explanation on all the amendments. Regards to all NPP media patriots in Ashanti region. Stephen also says, why are people surprised about JDM's attitude? Have you soon forgotten about the Monty 3? And lastly, coming from Benedanso, she says, the judges should know that by their ruling in favor of that uncalled imbecile, they've now opened themselves up for more vulgar, insulting character assassinations. Doesn't mean that those judges took appointments from President Mahama to pervert justice. They should read the scripture below from Isaiah 5, chapter 5, verse 23 to 24, which reads, they take bribes to pervert justice, letting the wicked go free and putting innocent men in jail. What do you have for us?
All right, so Eli Obama says, 2 highly respected media professionals, Paul and Kojo, providing expert analysis of MPP manifesto amendments, rendering it easily comprehensible. The new patriotic party is indeed privileged to have such outstanding intellect supporting it. Excellent. Now, Ewoku Goldman says, Dear Paul, we don't define youth only by age bracket. Though every country defines youth by age as standard, they always consider other characteristics such as societal values. Now, finally, Yao February says, why will the Defense Minister reveal the government plans for protecting and accommodating Mr. Kevin Taylor when his revelation will cost the government? His response that the Immigration Service are in charge of immigration issues, not the Defense Minister, was to inform Ghanaians that they support whatever Mr. Kevin Taylor has been alleging with insults. So how will Ghanaians think that his application before the Supreme Court to dismiss his bench warrant ruling by the court will be thrown away? Now back to you, Paul.
All right, your last word, Honorable MP.
I think my last word will be to supporters of the New Patriotic Party, sympathizers of the New Patriotic Party across the country. Your party has listened deeply and has started the process of reorganization and reforms. But we're going to go through a competitive period in the next 6 months, a period in which we are looking for a flag bearer who will lead us for the next 3 years as we prepare for the election. What we ask for is that while opinions will differ, we conduct ourselves with diligence and decorum. One of the things that affected us very much the last time was how we conducted ourselves during our own internal exercises. And the things that we said about ourselves became fodder that was used against us in the main election. And so we ask our colleagues to, keep faith with the reformation exercise, be mindful of our language and our words and the accusations that we make against each other. And at the end of the day, come together to support the common exercise so that we can hold the current government to account and rebuild our party, get back to power in 2028, and use the mandate of the people to serve in a manner that will be satisfactory to people. Those will be my final words, Paul.
A few messages for you. Richmond Aboko, be sorry about your wife shedding tears for the Supreme Court ruling. And that says, ask Kojo Ponkruma, how did Abronye vote on 17 and 56?
They were voice votes. I wouldn't know how he voted.
But he was there?
He was there as chairman of his region.
Of his region, okay. Thank you so much, Honorable. It's a pleasure having you, even though it was short. Thank you, viewers, for watching. It's past 11 o'clock. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you back on Thursday. Thanks for watching and good night.
George, who the hell do you think you are? Foolishness. We pay you. Massa, I don't want any foolish idiot to text me later. Who the hell is Sam George? I say, who the hell is that fool? I'm ready for you any day. Foolish man. Ube who say, a drobi o baby. Mr. Member will drag a dem. Mr. Ube wrong what's not form. Me, I'm telling you that. If somebody thinks I'm sitting here because of Mahama, then you are stupidly stupid. I'm telling you. You can call your Mahama and ask him. And if John Mahama thinks I'm sitting here because of him, he is thinking stupidly. Oh, men shebia honte. Akonyebia to say toilet. Oh, you hine se bedi enim na musomra so say you se be cansem man puntiomra abrabom. Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Ah? Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Wo na wo ma santemai say otufo. Wo na wo say santemai o tom. Obi o mon kan kire wo. Asantemai say e wo otufo na otufo te wo. Na yesi sebio wo na nanom o bae no sa nkwase asem we komo so anka nda akonwa kase we enkeda ho moto so nsamfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na yesoso nyoma so otufo you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. See, 2 million asante biem. 2 million ni menhia biem. Nimumpaya wo wiase nyina ye showa masarai bebediza when the Corinthians onimdie wo nyina ontumi san bayare Ankan Williams ono so ne ba no so aboda mo se den osoro na wate chain we ni kwate fia te se mire edidi nkwase asem o TikTok was Ankan William wa bompaya wo wiase nyina de brofo abo ontumi san bayare na mo mogibigi nyara mensa otabo akwatena court a bank board so we wie sika tetram o de nam Ghana osoro na wahye Igbofo curtains Reverend Obofo se hwanhwan ne nine say Egyptian pen Ode nkwasiafo mu de chiwagigi mu musika nyina koto phantom and o ka kire mu se osom no eya azan afawa oba no fon chen mi and why kese chen mi I said if Somalia ekuro bi ade fe no enkinkensu and ade ne baaye and otowa hwa na fo no samwa jimi arimi yawe edidi chief imam office de chi and oye corruption adwuma wo ho because odum say chief imam nyini chief imam on hwe TV chief imam on tie radio and arimi yawe na bodwe se peg and nkwasia politics no the chief imam office ne ye
Taylor in the country. Unfortunately, I'm not an immigration officer, and so I mean, how do you expect? I mean, I'm not an immigration officer. I mean, for those who act, take necessary steps. Find out from immigration, unless the person did not come through lawful borders. So some of these are things.